Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Well, now here's my presentation. Well, first is about my understanding of the text. The title is Don't Fear Artificial Intelligence. Well, AI has become a hot issue, and yesterday I heard a lot of teachers talking about AI. Well, today, this article, to be frank, is a little bit difficult for my students, freshmen of non-English majors. The article actually is a typical structure about the problem. First, the problem is raised. That's about some people say AI may cause a lot of threats, may have expressed their concerns about AI. And then the author began to say, no, the author's opinion is expressed. It's not that fearful. And then he explained the reasons. And then from altogether there are 9 paragraphs. And from paragraph 5 to paragraph 8, the author begins to explain, to suggest some possible strategies to solve the problem. Since paragraph 2 and paragraph 4 are the reasons that he explored. And then the last part is the conclusion and also the evaluation to provide some future prospect for the problem. And in the text, there are quite a lot of difficult words and also very long sentences, and especially a lot of names are mentioned. I think that's a very difficult point. So in my lecture with the students, I think this will be the key point, the difficult point. And the key point is about the structure. So my teaching objectives will include 4. And the first objective is to make students be aware of the background information, but this is the background information, especially about names, famous people, or some people related to AI. And the second one is about the understanding of the text, especially for the comparative structure, to express comparison. And the third objective is to understand to appreciate to grasp the structure of the text at this typical exposition structure. And then it's about the author's attitude, the last one, to learn how to express attitudes or to grasp the author's attitude in an article. And the teaching steps, the first is about the background information, but since there are too many people, or say some people, like Stephen Hawking, this is okay, but like Elon Musk, or we have like Steven Pinker, and Isaac Asimov, and Alan Turing, maybe it's really difficult for students to know them. So I think the assignment will be assigned before the class began. That is to say, we have the QQ group or we have the WeChat group, and I will assign the tasks for students. That's to say, before they came to the classroom, they can try to surf the internet and find some equivalent information about those people, and they can prepare like 2 or 3 minutes presentation and some pictures or some major ideas shared by those people. And then when we come to the classroom, when we meet, they will be asked, some volunteers will be asked to provide the information, and then they will have a better understanding of those people. Otherwise, if they just come to the text, and when they read those people, they will feel, oh, so many people, I'm really confused or puzzled. They have no idea, and then their interest in the text will be reduced. And then it's about some difficult words, also words, especially the words that are not so frequently used in our daily life, but it's technical terms such as median, spectre, something like this, and encrypted, and those are computer-related words. And I will list the words, and then they can I will explain some of the words, but if they still have difficulties, maybe they will look them up in the dictionary, and also the words will given to them, but maybe they cannot find the right meaning or understand them correctly. So in class, I will check some of the words and to further explain the vocabulary. And also we have some dynamic words that's to say the words are frequently used and are very important. For example, we have a suffix fold. In paragraph 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth line, in paragraph 4, we have like a hundredth fold. In the next line, we have a tenth fold. Well, fold, all the students know the word, but they do not know what is hundredth fold, what is tenth fold. So the suffix will be introduced to students. And also words like surpass and how to use this word. It's really dynamic one. And also like pivotal and imperative, those words are important, and they will be asked about some sentences or to make sentences using those words after they grasp the meaning of those words. And also the sentence structure, as I have mentioned just now about the comparative structure, it is in paragraph 3 and also paragraph 4. In paragraph 3, in order to explain artificial, we don't need to fear artificial intelligence. The author made some comparisons and uses structure like more than. In paragraph 3, the fourth line, like a kid in Africa with a smartphone has more intelligence access to knowledge than the president. This is a structure. And in paragraph 4, we also have the sixth line, also like a compared with. You know, to make comparisons in writing is very common. So I will encourage my students to express the ideas, to express those ideas that can be compared, or say different ideas. They will learn the structures and use those structures in their own writing. And for difficult sentences, like in paragraph 2, we have attributive clause, like a new virus for which humankind has no defense, or something like this. Those long sentences for my students are difficult to understand. Or if they know the meaning, they do not know how to use them in their own writing. So I will pick those sentences up, explain them, and ask them to try to do more practice. And also for the general idea, the structure, it's about the first paragraph, the problem, and the students will be asked to skim and scan paragraph 2 and 3, paragraph 2 to paragraph 4 in order to know the author's attitudes. What is his attitude towards this issue? And from paragraph 5 to paragraph 8, they will be encouraged to try to locate or say identify the strategies that the author mentions. And the last paragraph, the evaluation part, is also what I want to emphasize in my class, because the author not only made an evaluation, but also provides some conclusion about the advantages of AI. So the students will be encouraged to try to, I may give them a summary or something so they can fill in the blanks with those keywords, like the advantages of AI. And then after talking about all those stuff within like 2 periods, and the last period will be used to ask my students to have the summary of the whole text, but they are encouraged to summarize the whole text, including the structure, including the main idea. If they can answer the questions without referring to the text, it would be better, because it shows whether they really understand this one, the structure, and also the main idea. Also, for some phrases, we also have some important phrases they can learn from, like pose a threat to, or say take some comfort from. For phrases, usually in my class, the students are encouraged not only know the meanings of them, but also learn how to use them. Otherwise, those vocabulary will be just the dead ones. They do not know how to use them.
Time is up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, here comes the questions for you.
Okay, now that you are talking about vocabularies and you do not have enough time, so I'll give you time. You talked about technical terms, and you included spectre in that group, right? That word appears in second paragraph, third line, at the end of line 3,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
that is
spectres.
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 What does that mean?
Spectres means ghost or something related to ghosts, like something dangerous or something, horrible, unpleasant.
But why do you put it into the technical terms group?
Well, it's not a technical term, but the words that actually here is kind of like figures of speech. It's a metaphor here.
Do you think so? Okay.
In
Then
context,
how would you translate this sentence? Since then we have encountered comparable specters. How would you translate it?
自从那时候开始，我们就已经遇到了很多可以与它相比的这些可怕的事情或糟糕的事
So
情。
what is the metaphor?
Okay, so no, it's just the figurative meaning of the word.
I cannot see the figurative meaning of it. What is that?
Because originally we know specter means ghost.
Or threat?
Yeah, threat.
So do you think threat is a figurative meaning?
But here does not mean the ghost. It means like something as dangerous or as a threatening as a ghost.
Ghost is just one of the meanings. Okay, now let's turn to paragraph 8.
Okay.
The first sentence. Would you please read it aloud so that the audience know what sentence it is?
Okay. Ultimately, the most important approach we can take to keep AI safe is to work on our human governance and social institutions.
So can you explain what is human governance and social institutions?
Well, thank you for human governance. I think that's about that people's involvement in the governing of AI, artificial intelligence.
How to govern AI?
Well, that's to say we can make some guidelines and also computer-assisted rules or like encode them.
Okay.
Something like this.
So how about social institutions?
For social institutions, well, for institutions, I think here are those like colleges or universities or some organizations that work on this.
No, to work on social institutions, not to work on us. Not they working on us, but we working on them. So what is that?
We're working on social institutions.
Can we do that?
Social institutions, like some social ideals, like the morals, the social morals, the social the main culture or something like this, mainstream culture.
Okay, class is over. Thank you.
Thank you.